So the theme of our conference today is Educate, Innovate, and Advocate with Peace and Aloha. It was thoughtfully created using the NAFSA 2022 to 2023 strategic goals and what we feel is needed in the world we live in today. Let's live with peace and aloha in our hearts. I would like to send a huge mahalo nui loa to our generous sponsors, the Institute of Study Abroad Ireland, Study Hawaii, Hawaii Pacific University, University of Hawaii Manoa Office of Global Engagement, William S. Richardson School of Law, University of Hawaii Manoa Outreach College, University of Hawaii Manoa College of Engineering, CEA Study Abroad, and I'd like to put a shout out to Honolulu Community College, where I'm from. They donated some swag for our in-person social event this evening. So we have an afternoon planned with wonderful sessions and presenters. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our international educators from Ukraine who will present the keynote address, Teaching Practices at Times of War and Psychological Uncertainty in Ukraine. Mrs. Sally Laluzerne-Oy, my dear friend and colleague for many years, will introduce our keynote speakers. Sally?
Thank you, Kalehua. Hello and welcome to the keynote speaker event. Our panel speakers are all members of TESOL-Ukraine, teachers of English to speakers of other languages. TESOL-Ukraine and Hawaii TESOL have been official sister affiliates since 2002. After 20 years of exchanges, we've become more than just colleagues. And so it is a great pleasure for me to introduce our Ukrainian colleagues, but moreover our friends today. So we'll start with Olena Ilienko. Olena is the head of the Department of Foreign Languages of Beketov National University of Urban Economy in Kharkiv, where she teaches English as a foreign language, English for specific purposes, and academic English. She is also the president of TESOL-Ukraine, and we actually met for the first time about 28 years ago. Next, Luidmyla Hnapovska is an associate professor in the Department of Foreign Languages at Sumy State University, where she teaches a variety of English for specific purpose courses. Serhii Petrenko is an associate professor in the Department of Foreign Languages at Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv. Luidmyla Sinna is an assistant professor in the Department of Philology, Translation, and Strategic Communication at the National Academy of the National Guard of Ukraine, located in Kharkiv. Iryna Zuyenok is an associate professor in the Department of Foreign Languages at Dnipro University of Technology. She is an English as a special purpose teacher, teacher trainer, and director of the University Linguistics Center. And finally, Maryna Tsehelska is an associate professor in the Department of English Language and Methodology at Kryvyi State Pedagogical University. She's also the vice president of TESOL-Ukraine, and she spent the 2005-2006 academic year in Hawaii as a Fulbright Scholar. She will moderate the panel. You can learn more about our speakers, their specialties and interests on the NAFSA website. Today, they are joining us from their respective cities in Ukraine to share their experiences of teaching during a time of war and psychological uncertainty. Okay, we can begin.
So we can start. Aloha, everyone, and thank you for having us as keynote speakers. it's very important for us to share our experience with our colleagues overseas and all over the world. And today we will be talking about, just a second, I want to share the screen. Today we will be talking about teaching practices at times of war and psychological uncertainty in Ukraine. And the original plan was to start with the introduction, then share the stories of war. And we'll follow the plan, but unfortunately, Luidmyla Sinna is unable to take part in our session. So instead of Luidmyla, I will just share her impressions. And now I give virtual microphone to Olena Ilienko, our TESOL-Ukraine president.
Hello, dear participants of the conference, colleagues, friends, hello and aloha. My name is Olena Ilienko. I am the TESOL-Ukraine president. And first of all, I would like to thank all the people from the organizing committee of the NAFSA region, 12th Hawaii Pacific District Spring Virtual Conference, Educate, Advocate, and Innovate with Peace and Aloha. And personally, Ms. Kalehor, for giving us this opportunity to address you today. It's a great honor for me, and it is my great pleasure to speak to you in these difficult times for my country. Introduce our Association of English Language Teachers, TESOL-Ukraine. Speak about our activities in the days of peace and in the days of war, and give a short presentation of the teaching practices for the students in the days of military conflict under the conditions of uncertainty and psychological instability. We believe that our presentation will help you to get a more nuanced understanding of the recent situation in Ukraine and get information about the activities of TESOL-Ukraine Association members. Some words about the association. So as you see on the slide, TESOL-Ukraine was founded in 1995, and now it embraces nearly 650 people, English language teachers of secondary schools, college schools, university educators, private schools, teachers, etc. The mission of the association is to introduce the international standards of teaching and learning English, to promote new ideas and methods of teaching, to provide teacher training, and of course, to develop professional networking of English language teachers in Ukraine with their international partners. The next, please.
Let me do it this way, okay? Because I don't know why, but it's difficult for me just to go from slide to slide, yeah? So, Okay.
I see.
Mhm.
So in the previous one, Marina,
Mhm.
please,
Mhm.
about our events in the days of peace. The main activities were annual TESOL-Ukraine convention, regional events, teacher development institutes, different trainings, seminars, webinars, forums for young researchers, and many other valuable events and interesting for us teachers of English. Okay, and now some words about the partnership with Hawaii TESOL. As Sally has already mentioned, in the year 2002, our association signed a partners agreement with Hawaii TESOL, and since that time, we have had a very strong and successful cooperation with the colleagues from Hawaii. For instance, TESOL-Ukraine members have published their articles in the professional periodical The Word. And this periodical has also published regularly professional profiles of some members of our association from all around Ukraine. Colleagues from TESOL Hawaii have participated in conferences and trainings in Ukraine. And it is important to mention here that Ms. Sally Lalucern has always been a very active co-liaison, our intermediate person with our associations. And due to it has been happening due to the difficult days for my country. And we are very much thankful to her for and all her colleagues, all people and friends who have demonstrated their solidarity with the people of Ukraine and suggested their support. Together with the TESOL Hawaii, we conducted a series of webinars in solidarity with Ukraine. We have had 4 webinars, and more than 150 teachers have participated in these webinars and downloaded the recordings and the resource files from our Facebook page. Yes. On the 24th of February, the peaceful life of Ukraine was dramatically stopped by Russian aggression. More than 300 educational establishments, schools, and university buildings have been ruined. 2/3 of the children of Ukraine had to flee to the western part of the country and abroad. In these conditions, we are trying now to resume classes at schools and universities online. In our classes today, we have examples of such situations when 8 out of 12 students are staying in different countries of Europe, mostly with their mothers, as the fathers stayed at home and families are separated. So it goes without saying that the teachers are also scared, exhausted, and they experience psychological instability. But at the same time, we help to calm down our students, to support them, and sometimes not only the students, but their families. And we have to be very flexible with the methods of teaching and very innovative with what we do after the classes, with our extra class activities. So you see that TESOL-Ukraine people teach, translate, volunteer, and take an active part in the information war. So on this slide, you can see the names of our team of presenters today who are active TESOL-Ukraine members and devoted professionals. They represent different geographical areas of Ukraine. Luidmyla Sinna, who is unfortunately absent today, and me, we stay in Kharkiv, the city which is under restless bombing and shelling all the time. And Lyudmila Hnapovska is a representative of Sumy University. Serhii Petrenko teaches in Kyiv, the capital of our country, and Marina Zunuk and Maryna Tsehelska represent Dnipro and Kryvyi. They are relatively safe places, though we can't say now in Ukraine that we have somewhere really safe places, secure places. All members of our team have their war stories, and they are stories of teaching and fighting against the difficulties of the military conflict time. And I think they will tell you their stories of war now.
So please, Lyudmyla.
Okay. Dear conference participants, it's my honor and my pleasure to address you all. And just to start with, let me, on behalf of the TESOL community of Sumy State University, let me just thank you very much for your support, for your prayers, and for your deep concern for everything that's happening in Ukraine today. We really value this, we appreciate this, and we really need this. This helps us survive. And in fact, when I was thinking about how to call my presentation, and when I was thinking what I will be talking about, I thought that I won't be talking about technologies we use. I won't be talking about how we motivate students. I won't be talking about just which tools we use to teach our students. I thought that that would be the grammar of war. And what I really mean is, I will try to show you how we as TESOL teachers have reconsidered some of the grammar concepts that we had been teaching to our students, had been trying to explain, and were not very much successful. Unfortunately, the war has helped us to demonstrate some of the grammar concepts in a rather cruel but very much evident way. Just the background picture, well, just the picture on the slide is the picture, one of the buildings of our university, which was bombed and which now has a lot of windows that have been replaced because one day the university woke up in the morning without the windows because there were 5 bombs that fell not far from it. The background picture in my Zoom shows another building of our university, and just you see the blue sky over it, which used to be a peaceful sky before. On the 24th of February 2022, we all woke up under the sounds of alarm telling us that war has started. So just if we talk about the grammar of war and about those concepts that we have definitely reconsidered, the first one is definitely the concept of singular and plural. In fact, it's hard enough to explain to students now what it is. One bomb, is it singular or is it plural? Grammatically, it is singular. But in fact, on the 7th of March, at late at night, it appeared to be a plural form because one bomb took away 22 lives, 3 of whom are the lives of children. I prepared these slides on somewhere in the middle of April. Now, when just the reconstruction in this residential area of Sumy, where this bomb fell, well, the reconstruction has started, and the other day, other figures were announced. Now, the number of victims has risen to 26 lives, 6 of whom are children. One bomb equals to 26 lives. Is it singular or plural? The question is quite rhetorical. Well, another concept that is very much vivid to us today is the meaning of past perfect tense, just because everything we had before the 24th of February is now past perfect. We now understand the meaning of past, and we can't say that for us our past was indefinite. Our past was really very much definite. And unfortunately now, our students will understand very nicely the meaning of structures used to do something and we're used to doing something. We used to be one of the top-ranked universities with 15,000 students studying here, more than 3,000 of whom were foreign students. We used to organize a lot of different events. We used to have light and spacious rooms. We used to have very friendly team of teachers and very creative and very good team of creative students. Just the picture next to one of the buildings of our university shows our students just on the eve of the war. This is the 15th of February, when students greet each other on St. Valentine's Day, showing their love to each other. Unfortunately, everything we were used to has been ruined. Well, life had been completely different before February the 24th, and now we are used to completely different things. Next slide, please. This is the slide that I can't look at without tears. This is the meaning of past indefinite and present perfect. Not once did we explain to our students that when we talk about past indefinite, it's important to highlight when and where it happened, while with present perfect, what we're interested in is the result we have by now. Okay, we have this result. We have lost 2 of our students. One of them is just a first-year student of economic cybernetics. He left school last summer, and he was just a wonderful boy. He is not with us now. We have lost him in the front. There is another loss. This is a graduate of our university. He used to be, again, the structure used to be, he used to be a very successful banker, and we have also lost him. It doesn't matter when and where, we just have lost them. There is another story, and this is where past indefinite might have some kind of meaning, just because on the 7th of April this year, he was in the bus that was taking some of the team of our electricians to repair the electric systems. Well, the bus exploded on the mine, and the fourth-year student of our university was seriously injured, was very seriously operated on, underwent very serious surgery. But fortunately, he has survived, and hopefully life for him will continue. So these are the things that we will have to explain to students. Definitely, we can't answer one very simple question: why and what for? Because nobody knows why this senseless war is happening. Next slide, please. Now, just this is what our present is. Present, not simple, very much indefinite, not for us teachers, for students, especially for foreign students. Majority of them have left, but some of them are still staying in Sumy. This is what our rooms look like now. This is what our students are busy doing now. They are volunteering. And this is just the picture of our university after that bombing, where a lot of windows were broken. So our present is definitely not simple, very much indefinite, but for sure still continuous. And the next slide, please. And still, under these times of uncertainty, we keep working. Lena said that 8 out of 12 students are somewhere. In my groups, it sometimes happens that 100% of students are scattered around the world. Many of them are in Czech Republic, in Poland, in Switzerland. So practically there is no European country where our students are now staying. And just those who can join the classes, keep working, keep living, and keep dreaming. And we keep discussing with them the things that will happen to them in the future. This is the screenshot of one of my classes. You see there were only 4 students out of 12, but still that was the class on job hunting module. And we were talking about the secrets of their career success. And just here in the chat, they wrote what they think success is. Just you see that they think that success is knowledge multiplied by experience and added to the goals you set. Persistence is one of the ingredients of success. Desire, achievements, and one of them wrote that it's reasonable risk plus knowledge multiplied by past mistakes. In fact, the risks that we are taking are not reasonable. I should say they're huge risks. Now we know what war is, unfortunately, and what peaceful life is, which we have started to value much more. And I hope we will never make past mistakes, just because future for us is definite, it's continuous, and it's progressive. And we really do hope that Ukrainian future will be bright, yellow, and blue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So next, thank you, Luidmyla. And our next presenter was Luidmyla Sinna. She teaches at the Military Institute, or let me remind you. So she teaches at the National Academy of National Guard of Ukraine. And as Olena already told, Kharkiv is a place which was severely bombed and is still under bombshells. Their academy, which prepares students for Ukrainian military, of course, stopped working because most of the students had to go to the front. So in reality, many of Luidmyla's students now are defending Ukraine and they're helping in different areas. And Luidmyla's story was about a group that just started the project. And this project was based on their lives. It was the project that had to show how students live. And unfortunately, now their lives have greatly changed because instead of classes, they are having different experiences. And some of them were already killed in this ruthless war. And Luidmyla's students, they are not only helping to fight Russians, they are also military psychologists who work with people in military, and also girl students. They can't, but many of them, they can go and fight, but also they are busy. They are busy volunteering, and they gather money for different projects, and they buy equipment and other necessary things for the front. So, and today at this time, so they all are hoping that their peaceful life will come back again. But they do understand that life will never be the same, especially for people in Ukrainian military, because Ukrainian military is what really made Ukraine undefendable. And people like Luidmyla, they helped prepare such wonderful soldiers that now defend us. So, and our next speaker is Serhii Petrenko from Kyiv National University. Please, Serhii.
Hi, everybody. I'm Serhii Petrenko, an associate professor at Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv. Nice to see you all. As you may have seen from the news, and our previous speakers have already told, that since the start of war from the 24th of February, Russia has sent hundreds of missiles to the residential areas. According to the United Nations Refugee Agency, around 12 million people, more than 1/4 of the total population of Ukraine, have fled their homes in Ukraine. More than 7 people were internally displaced, and approximately 5 million people left the country, and a lot of students as well. Dozens of thousands of civilians lost their lives in Ukrainian cities and towns attacked by the Russian troops. Extensive environmental damage is also present, as water supply, communications are targeted, port infrastructure along the coasts of the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov is attacked, and nature and biosphere reserves and national nature parks have suffered significant losses. While retreating, Russian troops plant mines in the previously seized Ukrainian territories, like it happened near Kyiv region, in the Kyiv region, leaving them even in the, so they leave some mines even in the children's toys. Roads, airports and bridges, fuel stations, food warehouses continue to be targeted as well. When the war started, for a couple of days, we continued to have online classes at my university, where I teach English for students of political science and history departments. But the situation in Kyiv became worse from day to day, and by the order of the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine, all university classes postponed for some period of time. The education process restored at Kyiv University in an online form only in April. However, before April, together with my students, we launched several projects. Firstly, We figured out that Ukraine is in the news TV channels, YouTube, and newspapers around the world. Some names of Ukrainian cities, towns, and villages are mentioned. Then people want to check where those cities are. They Google and luckily find Wikipedia articles about them. The problem is that Russians have already worked there and written fake information about the war in Ukraine, about the captured cities, towns, airports. Therefore, we decided to verify the information in Wikipedia and correct it, providing truth. Students and teachers from different universities have joined this project and verified the information about Kyiv, Kharkiv, Sumy, Mariupol, Kherson, Mykolaiv, Bucha, Irpin, Hostomel, Vasilkiv, Chernobyl, and many, many other places, cities and towns. Secondly, next slide, please. Students prepared letters to scientists, teachers, organizers of international conferences to support Ukraine in its fight against aggression of the Russian Federation. We have reminded that any cooperation with this country and the participation of Russian scientists in their projects and conferences is tantamount to the tolerance of crimes against humanity and international law, as Russia grossly violated the United Nations Charter, the Helsinki Final Act, the Budapest Memorandum on Security Assurances, the Geneva Conventions, and so on. Other activities that we have done are posting truthful information on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, giving interviews to international media channels. When the education process restored at our university, we all understood that general topics, vocabulary and grammar would not be beneficial to students in war times. That's why Scott Thornberry's dogme approach became very helpful. The first element of the lesson is activating schemata or background knowledge, but it is already known, the background knowledge, the war in Ukraine. We don't have to prepare any topics as it is already there. Therefore, the students are really enthusiastic to read articles in newspapers because they live in this reality. Watch videos of political scientists, military experts, and modern philosophers, as for example, Francis Fukuyama, analyze them and find new vocabulary and creating their own list of words. And at the same time, it is easier to learn them in this context. So that's what about our projects. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Serhii. And now, Iryna Zuyenok, you remember that Iryna is from the pre-front area. That is the very important area, which is the border between the front and the more or less peaceful Ukraine. And now Iryna will talk about her work at this time. Iryna, please.
Well, thank you, Marina. Hello, everybody. I'm Marina Zunuk, an associate professor of Foreign Languages Department of Dnipro University of Technology, well known for more than 100 years as National Mining University. And for me, it is a great honor to represent here 15 EFL teachers who are also TESOL members and send you greetings from them. And to say thank you for the support with your webinars, where our teachers participate, of course, from time to time. If you remember the map of Ukraine, you saw that our city, which is called Dnipro, is located in the center of Western Ukraine. It is an administrative center, and it is the center of Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, which borders with, as I would like to say right now, with the most hot oblasts such as Kharkiv, Donetsk, Lugansk, Kherson, Zaporizhia. So you see, we are in the center of all these military actions. But nevertheless, if not to pay attention to the bombardment from time to time, it's more or less peaceful. And this geographical position makes our city a logistics center. That is why it is quite natural that the first refugees from Kharkiv they arrived to our city, where they found the shelter, where they found the shelter, and for a while to relax a little bit, to recharge, and who once they go further, deeper into the center of Ukraine. Then, as soon as the military actions were expanding, we hosted people from Kramatorsk, Mariupol, and Kherson. In general, during these 2 months, 100,000 refugees have found here in our city their temporary accommodation. According to the latest news to the right today, the deputy major said that 50,000 people decided to live and stay in Dnipro. It is official data for today. And of course, you will understand that our university also is involved in this process. And I would like to say that we are happy that we hosted Priazovsky Technological University from Mariupol. Now their staff are in our university. We opened the door for them, and we also opened our digital space for their students. As university teachers, we realize that national economy of Ukraine is in need and will be in need of highly qualified specialists. We took only 2 weeks to adapt to this new reality and to transform the teaching learning process, trying to keep it in one digital space with the portion of asynchronous work higher than the synchronous one, taken in real time in Teams. So this slide, of course, I can't show you the space, but I tried my best to put the screenshots on one slide to show how it works. So as you see, the core of open digital space of our university is Office 356. All you need to address to admin of the university and to get your corporate email address. As soon as you have it, you can go to the website. It is on the left at the top. You can go to the website and choose in the menu whether you are a staff or a student. And then you will see Office 365. Click on it. Insert your address and your login, and you will find yourself in the Outlook in your e-box. And you see my e-box, and maybe you will see the TESOL International also. And via this Outlook, via Microsoft Office, you can get to Teams, where we organize themes for each of the groups of students. Personally, I have them nearly 10. And you can see the list of my teams, only some of them. And we use Teams mostly for meetings and for virtual classes, so-called in-classes activities. And also we post some information for students or share links you can see or give them assignments. But what is good that while working in Teams, what we did at the beginning, at the beginning of the class, we take a short video just in case the alarm will sound. And in this video, we analyze the home task and I give them instructions what to do just in case the alarm sounds, and they will continue working asynchronously. Next slide, please. And for asynchronous work, we use Moodle platform, where we have all the courses designed by our teachers online. Here you can see on the left my personal office, where you can see the list of classes I run. And I would like to say that there are 2 obligatory courses, which is ESP for undergraduates and English for professional purposes, with the focus on English for academic purposes, for postgraduates. Here you can also see the list of optional courses we propose to our students, which is English for media literacy. As you see, business travel. Here also there is a list of different project works we propose to our students. And you see that all the courses have their own description, and you see some kind of refresh memories. But I would like, first of all, to say that these courses are built on the authentic original materials found by us via internet, but mostly donated by the British and American teachers and experts. Well, for example, the course English for academic purposes, it is built on the materials donated by the representative of NILE, Norwich Institute of Language Education, which is in Norwich, and the materials donated and the course which was organized by RLO US Embassy in Kyiv by Dr. Robert Cote, and we listened to his lectures, which he allowed and shared with Ukrainian teachers. Well, please, next slide. But we are not limited only to in-class activities, because we realize that we need somehow to help our students to survive the trauma caused by the wartime. That is why you can see the list of extracurricular activities we use when students have their free time, so-called. And for example, right now we are preparing them to participate in the 17th International Forum of Students and Young Researchers Widening Our Horizons. It would be very interesting for you, such fact that this forum was, how to say, established or launched with the help of the Peace Corps volunteer from the USA. Unfortunately, I do not remember who was he or she, but the idea and the name was chosen with their help. So in plans during this forum, we are planning different roundtable discussions on the current situation in the country, on the burning issues for students, including psychological problems. Our students also involved in the project Erasmus Plus and TESOL-Ukraine, which is multilingual education. And thanks to Marina Tsehelska, who is present here, using the materials of her training given in Odessa Summer Professional Development Institute, my students who specialized in Ukrainian language and literature has done their team projects on history and development of Ukrainian literature from the very first days of founding Ukraine. And also our students are involved in volunteer work, as you heard. And some of my students, it is graduate students who maybe, I think, they know English well, they helped people to escape from Dnipro, for refugees to Bulgaria, crossing different borders, helping them and talking with the representatives of customs, Red Cross. And if you wish, we have prepared some videos. One is about, it was made by Romanian media about volunteer, I told you, my student who accompanied refugees. Also, if you wish, we have a piece of the real life presentation. It was not prepared for this conference. Believe me, it was simply their task to prepare presentations on project work. And also we have a video, if you're interested, I have very interesting postgraduate student who is, how to say, a digital fine artist. If you wish, Marina will show these videos. If we are lack of time, I will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much for your attention and your support.
Yeah, thank you, Iryna, and thank you, everyone. And it looks like we don't have much time left. Huh? And
oh, sorry.
yes. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. So, and we will be really glad to answer your questions if you have any.
Okay, wow. Thank you very much for sharing these powerful stories, and I'm really touched. And as a conference team rep, I wanted to give you guys a huge mahalo, and thank you very much for your presentation. And there will be 3 presentations beginning at 2 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. The breakout rooms are already open. Please feel free to join the room that you wanted to join. Each breakout room is named by the topic of the presentation. I will see you later. Thank you very much.
Hi, Ivy.